redemption.
What is redemption?
Redemption, man, is being basically just brought back from a certain state, man, being redeemed. And in a sense, that's my life is a life of redemption. From a young age to the early 2000s, living a life selling drugs, hustling, gang banging. I just always had this thing with identity. I wanted to be, original, and we lived in the jungles in Los Angeles. And, you know what I'm saying, that's where I picked it up. You know what I'm saying? And, we lived in the jungle on all this avenue in Los Angeles. In the early 80s, stayed out there a couple of years. And, come back to Mississippi, it was there. Cat grabbed me, picks me up against the wall, so I stabbed him a couple of times. And they hit me in the head with an axe handle, left me for dead. I stuttered, I couldn't talk for some months. I stuttered for about a year. My mama flew out and see me. I was laid up in the hospital, head swole. And they didn't know whether I was gonna have brain damage or not. And every time I think about it, I sit there and watch my mama at the foot of the bed and crying. But because I was so full of hate, the only thing that I was laying there thinking is, when I get out this hospital, I couldn't say it physically, but the only thing that I could think when I was laying in the bed, I put that on blood. When I get out of here, wherever I catch him at, I'm gonna kill him. They left me for dead. God still, he brought me back from that. I made a full recovery. I didn't even have to go through rehab or nothing. And that's just another thing, man, with God is just showing individuals that no matter what, that if you have a destiny that's written over your life, nothing can take you out, and God's gonna keep you until you get to that place. Because there have been several times I was supposed to be dead, but he kept me. Got out the hospital, I came back home and caught a charge. Came back to Hattiesburg, caught a charge at Crystals on Hardy Street, and it was just an ongoing thing, man. My life was, I was filled with rage, and being a West Side Avenue Piru, it was just that was my outlet. If you wore blue, or at one while it didn't matter what you wore. If you got in our way, we were gonna roll over you. But I'm just thankful that God, in turn, thought enough of me, man, to just spare my life. You know what I'm saying? Because I got a lot of friends that was either Black Peace Stone, Vice Lords, or whatever, they Crips. So I had some partners that was Hoovers or whatever, and they ain't here with us today. We had been banging with a rival set at the time, if you want to say that, organization, however you want to say it. And there was a couple of guys. There was a guy that got murdered, and on October the 7th, there was this confrontation that went out between me and who I considered then to be a friend, and I look up, I'm on the ground, he on the ground, I'm in the ambulance, I wake up, asking the people, am I gonna die? They said no. And so I wake up again, I'm in the hospital, and when the people came to me and told me that this guy had actually died, you know what I'm saying, I knew then, I said, well, there ain't nothing else for me to do. I'm probably gonna get thrown away. But I was laying in the hospital the next day. I still didn't want to change, because I called my wife then, and I told her, I said, I need you to bring the truck and bring my alcohol, bring my gin with you. And before she could make it there was about 10 police that came in and arrested me and threw me in the Forest County Regional in Hattiesburg. Set my bond at about $500,000. Stayed there about 7 months, and that's when I began to give my life to Christ. I began to understand fasting, and there was this Pentecostal pastor, Pastor Boldware, out of Sanford, Mississippi. He used to come every Thursday, and he stood at the gates, and he'd be talking directly to me. He was preaching real hard and fast, and it's like he'd be speaking to me, and it's like whatever he was saying, it like did something to the inside of me. And I said, Lord, well, I really want to live for you. And in the process of that, I stayed locked down 7 months. And, I made the Lord some promises. If you deliver me from this, I'm gonna serve you. But in 7 months, they dropped my bond from $500,000 down to $50,000, and I got out, and I went contrary to what I told God I was gonna do. I moved to Laurel, Mississippi, got me some money, scored me some weed, a couple pounds of weed. Moved up here to Laurel, Mississippi, and I started again. I started hustling again. I bumped into some bloods in the city of Laurel, and started kicking it with them a little bit, but at the same time, I was dealing with everybody, and I forgot about the promises that I made God, and God says in His Word basically that we should make a vow that we can't keep because He takes no pleasure in fools. And so a couple of years in Laurel turned around and they reopened our case, and in the process of this, I got 20 years in the Mississippi Department of Correction. Leading up to this, I've been contemplating suicide. Lord, I don't want to live no more, because I could hear God's voice, but then on the other hand, the flesh was just drawing me deeper and deeper out there in the water. I became abusive. I started struggling with all kinds of stuff, and they locked me up, turned myself in, started on that 20, and as I started on the 20. The Lord's voice got stronger. All my addictions, with the alcohol, I was addicted to sex, addicted to selling drugs, man, because the money was good. But when I turned myself in, that voice got stronger. God's voice got stronger. And I told the Lord, I said, Lord, if you just help me make it through this, I promise you I'm going to live for you. Just begin to pray and fast. And I left Rankin County. They sent me to Greene County. A couple of times, I had a couple altercations and stuff, but all in all, even though I knew that there was a death warrant out on my head, God sustained me in the process of all of that. And being an Avenue Piru, being under the Blood Nation, you understand that really the only way to come out is really death. And so in saying that, God, when I went to Greene County, I knew that there was kites on my head, but God still maintained me. He actually caused my enemies to stand up for me in situations. I did 3 years, and I was able to come out. But this time, the difference was that the promise that I made God, I'm still holding up for it today. God can use you regardless of what you're going through. The life that I live, I want to tell any young or old man right now that there's a way out. And if I could go to prison, come out, if I could kick those addictions of sex, alcohol, and hustling, you can too. And so, God blessed me to come out. And, whenever I get an opportunity, I just like to share, you know what I'm saying? Because if he kept me, if he redeemed me, he can redeem you. So I just want to encourage, individuals, you out there in them streets, that there's a dead end waiting on you. So come out if you can. Where I am today is a miracle. And just thinking about the saving power of God and His power to redeem us. And I'm just thankful for being here today.